about those changes and what they would like to instruct us today. Can she share with you more about what is going to change, please?
It's already done, and changes have mostly happened, but it's like, she says, it's like, it's like a time lag. Now, in my life now on Earth, there's a lag of time, like a delayed reaction, like a pause button on a video or something. It feels like there's also more than one kind of change happening, and that's why I'm confused. I feel like I better ask for more guidance.
Okay. They will tell us more.
The changes are in the people, not in the environment, and the changes are in the environment and the people. So the people are changing. So like the actual DNA is changing. And then the world is changing, the land is changing, the sun is changing, everything else is changing too. So there's two changes, real, like the world, like outside of our being, and the bodies are changing. Unfortunately, not everybody is changing.
Yeah.
This is where I feel really sad.
Why is that?
Because everybody's not changing. Everybody should change.
Right.
Why it's not fair? Why isn't everybody changing?
Yeah, and it seems like that was heavy on you also in the last life that you lived before. Right. And now we just learned that we're just not responsible for everyone. We just can do what we can do with the right people that are
That's
ready.
right. Oh yeah, see, I feel that in my back.
Yeah, let's take it out from the past and send it back into the light. You don't need this anymore. It's connected to your past life. So now let's send it back into the light for healing. And let's send it out from the body, the physical body, the mental body, the emotional body, the spiritual body, the past, the present, and the futures, any layers that it's existing, all the molecular level and the atom. Very good. Send it back to the light for healing. And tell me when it's all out.
That's better.
Oh, that's wonderful. What would you like to put there instead of that?
Or just like beautiful light, pink light would be good. It came right into the back of my heart chakra.
Right, let's bring it, fill it up with beautiful energies of healing, pink light, high frequency of love and healing to harmonize and balance that area. Fill it up and then seal it when it's all full. Feels good?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's take another deep breath.
It's better than the stabbing pain in my back of my body.
Very good. And we will continue the healing as we continue to speak with the subconscious and with your spirit guides. Let's take another deep breath. Relax completely. So let's connect again with the council. And I want them to share with you now about your life purpose. Who is one to come forward now?
It's a female. It's the same one.
It's the same one. Wonderful.
I've met her before. I've talked about her. She's really, really familiar.
Yeah. Ask her if she's your primary guide.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, very good. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So please ask her now to give you some guidance on what she thinks important for you to know today.
Well, I don't like what she's saying.
Okay. Just say it. Repeat after her so I can hear it and you can remember it.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. A prophet. She says you're here to be a prophet. You have always been a prophet. And this time it won't be so hard. You don't have to make everybody believe you this time.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, but I just don't like that job.
Okay. I understand. I can relate to that too. Take another deep breath. May I speak with her directly, please?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Connect with her energy and let her express herself. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hi, thank you for coming forward. I see it 111 right now. Perfect timing. Would you like to share with us important message today?
There are a few of you out there who know that they're here to tell the world what is to come. And those people, those of you who know this is your work, your job, this is why you've incarnated, do not have to fear that people will not hear or understand.
Okay.
Those of you listening to this now, who are listening to it later, know who you are.
Yeah.
There's nothing to fear. It's not the words that you have to share that matter. It's the transmission that happens when you tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It will awake people to the truth. So don't worry about whether at first people believe. It's not what's important. The mind will never believe anyway.
Mm.
The truth is in the heart.
Yeah.
The job is to listen and speak. How your voice is heard and received is not yours to worry about. It's not your responsibility.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
This message is for her, for Lori, but it's for many more.
Right. Thank you. What else do you find that it's important to say that will help us in our mission and in waking up whoever is ready?
For many of you, it's in your dreams. You'll hear the truth in your dreams. You'll see the truth in your dreams. But when you wake up and you remember the dream, you often don't remember the truth of it. You remember the story of it. So I would remind you to speak the truth of what you felt in the dream. Often you felt peace or joy, hope. Remember what you felt. The storylines, some of the storylines are true. Yes, so some things are changing fast here. But it's not about the happenings that matter. It's what the transformation is that matters. So we're going to remind people to speak the truth of the feelings of what happens, not the story. The story can sound scary.
Yeah.
The planet is changing with you. Don't worry. She's coming with you.
Can you share with me more about those changes that you speak about that are coming, that is a bit different than what it was before? What is coming and how is it different?
Oh, everything is different. There's everything is different. I mean, there's still plants, and there's still animals, and there's still sky and sun and lakes and rivers. That's still all there because she's coming with us.
I'm talking
Mm-hmm.
about Gaia.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. She's coming, but she's changing.
Yeah.
But we're different. We don't have the same sort of, well, the bodies are the same. We still have two hands and two legs and arms and eyes and mouth, but they're also operating different. It's like, what it reminds, the best description for the way to understand it is it's the world is the same, but she's a new operating system.
I know.
And the human is the same form, but a new operating system. And so, in a metaphor, is the laptop has a new operating system, but it's still a laptop, right?
Yeah.
So humans are all looking like humans.
Mm-hmm. It's a wonderful metaphor. Mm-hmm. So, with those changes in the DNA, that's what's bringing us to the new program.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how those changes are happening in the DNA and what's causing the change. How does
The
it
sun,
work?
the sun,
The sun. Yeah.
but it's not just the sun. The
Mm.
sun is like the magnifying glass, just like you take a magnifying glass to burn a hole in something by taking the energy of the sun and magnifying it.
Mm-hmm.
The sun is the magnifying glass, the focalizer of the energy coming from somewhere else.
Mm.
So it's it and intensifying it. So it's coming through the sun.
Wonderful. I have a question here about the sun. She wanted to know about the color of it and if there's changes in where it was
Mm-hmm.
setting and rising.
Mm-hmm. It's the sun is changing because it's no longer just alone. Um, the sun is a being just like you and me,
Mm-hmm.
everyone, and now it has been merged with another energy, so it looks different to you.
What type of energy has been merged with?
It's like the higher self of the sun. It's like the sun's own soul.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm. So it's like it's enlightened. It's here. The sun has had an enlightenment episode. So now the sun is no longer feeling separate from everything and all that is. And then in this state of awakenedness, the sun is allowing it to be used as a vehicle, as a transmission vehicle.
Tell me about that. What do you mean by that? How?
Well, because before that, the sun couldn't do this. Right? The sun was an isolated and independent entity, separate from all that is. Now the sun is a part of all that is and is no longer afraid. So the sun has opened itself up, itself up, to be used by forces beyond itself, to be a vehicle, a transmission vehicle for the ascension of all beings on this solar system, not just on Earth. There's others on other planets.
One other planet of the solar system that also ascending with us.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. So it's the whole solar system that is ascending.
Yes.
Wow. Wonderful. What's the timeline of a process like that in Earth time that we know here on Gaia?
I call her Terra.
Terra, yeah.
Terra. It
Yeah.
is sooner than you think, but it's further than you want.
Yeah.
It's in the next 20 years that this process has come full circle.
Yeah.
It has begun, though. It began in earnest in 2012. I hear talk all the time of the wave. I mean, it's hard to ignore it, and yet it's not as simple as a wave or waves. That is a good understanding, but that's not all.
Tell me more about it so we can have a little more clear pictures of how the process is going on and what to expect.
It's like flower in the soil, going through its phases of maturation, so that in the very beginning, it just is a little sprout of its potential. And then it has leaves, and it has petals, and flower petals, and it's closed and it hasn't opened. That's where you are now. So the wave is okay to understand that it's cycles of change, but that may seem from a human perspective more intense. But it's also as if this process of transformation is perfectly timed and nothing will ever change the way it will unfold, just like a flower will always unfold in its own cycle.
Right.
Now, the flower that is humanity has become a closed bud now. But before this, it wasn't even that. So there's 2012 was when it began, when the sprouting began.
Wonderful. Beautiful. Some people say that there is event coming. What's the event mean? What's the bigger wave that's created? Is there something like that, or?
There's confusion because there's two events.
Okay.
Humanity's ascension or shift or transformation is the first, and that is not an event, that is a process. The only way to see it is a flower. It's not an event. Flower is a process.
Right. Okay.
The other is the event is about the earth and her transformation. So
yeah,
that is the other thing that people would call more of an event.
So what's that? How that's going to be expressed?
There's something happening at a solar system level that is changing the earth.
What's that?
This makes no sense to me. I'm going to try to explain it.
It's
a Earth is approaching at a horizon, like if you were talking about a black hole, we say you call it an event horizon.
Okay.
And there's a time frame at which it's like almost there.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's an event. It's an event because it's not a process. It's almost, like an edge, like when you're standing at the edge of a cliff and you're almost, and then suddenly you're over the edge.
Yeah.
So it's very precise. It's very before and after. It's very now and then.
So you cross some kind of alignment.
Yes, there's a crossing over.
So what is the alignment with what's the relationship that are taking part in that constellation? Who is part of that alignment?
What do you mean by who?
Like what are the I'm not sure if this might be a planet or might be other things that are part of that. You said it is like seeing the horizon, or like, so what is making that? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. What is a causal agent?
Yeah. What are the influences that are part of that?
It's not what's coming towards us, it's what we're going towards. The Earth itself and the solar system are in motion towards, and it's nothing that is easy to detect It's not as if you could put a telescope out and see the thing that we're talking about. It's not like, oh, there's the planet or something. It's something more. Hang on, I'm seeing an image.
Thank you.
It's like a force field. It's like an invisible force field. It's as if we're moving closer to this energy that is always in the same place. It doesn't really move. And then Earth is coming into proximity to it, and has been for a long, long time. But now we're so close. The planet has become so close that it is on the edge of going through the other side. And that's where the event is. The event is there. You know, the Earth isn't the same Earth afterwards. So it's not, the problem here isn't about the volcanoes, the earthquakes, the floods, the species extinctions, or the land. It's not about the poles and the shifts of the electromagnetic field, because all of that is just a symptom. It's nothing to worry about. It's just growing pains. It's a symptom of coming so close to the threshold.
Okay, wonderful.
And then you go through the threshold, and then all of those symptoms are totally irrelevant. Because no longer are you the same either. The human being has changed. But the flower is important to remember. It's not a jarring shift for you as a perception. It's a gentle one.
Okay, very nice. So we will start to see and experience ourselves changing into the next. Very beautiful. And when the earth is changing into this shift, is that something that is very close? Is it, or like, how long in earth time do you think that will happen?
2023 or 4.
Okay, wonderful. Okay.
Though 2021 is something that's important, but it's not as powerful as a little bit later. So 2021 is the equivalent of a metaphor. It would be a metaphor for 2021 is like seeing that you're one of many species and many types of beings in the world, like losing your illusion of being alone. Well, 2021 is remembering you're a part of the greater whole. 2023 is more like the actual transition threshold to 2024.
Wonderful.
It's just so gentle. That's the thing, you know. It's just so gentle. Nobody feels shocked. Everyone feels, oh, this is the next thing, of course.
Yeah. That's very nice. Very good. What about the earth changes? Some people describe there's going to be big changes to the landscape and places.
There's not very many people compared to before. There's small cities that are like communities for people to participate in. Every city has its specialty. Like if you were an artist, then you would want to live where the artists live, and if you're a scientist, you want to live with all the scientists. It's not like that simple though, but people want to, like birds of a feather will flock together. People want to be in creative communities to collaborate with people who are excited about the same thing.
Like-minded, wonderful.
But you know, there's some birds that I've never seen before. I've never seen these birds. They look like they're prehistoric to me. So, like what do you call those things? Pterodactyls and stuff. So there's things that I don't think belong to the era that, you know, they look like from another era. And then there's trees too that I don't recognize, or bigger looking plants that gigantic size plants, ferns that look too tall.
Wonderful. So I see you now taking a tour on the new Earth
Yeah,
on
because
Terra.
it's pretty, and Terra's pretty,
Uh-huh.
and the sun is it changed again. It doesn't look the same either than it did before. It's not yellow and it's not white.
Hmm.
It's kind of pinky yellow, almost looks like it's a sunset color, but it's not. It's just the color looks different to me.
Yeah.
It's lighter, like a brighter, lighter, warmer, pinky yellow, white. It's interesting. Then there's also, we're not just people on the planet. There's more than humans here now.
Of course. We're connected to more beings that can now be with us in Terra.
Well,
So,
they're with us, but they're not.
yeah.
They're like they're helping, but they're not really staying. I can't just say that the right way. They're helping us adjust to everything.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Thank you. I wanted to ask you if you can just look like a bird about the landscape of Terra and telling me if you notice any, what are the areas of those cities of light? What are, if you can recognize some places from the old Earth to the new Earth that are, where are those cities of light? Can you fly above and tell me if you notice?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
France is still very much the same. Most of France is still there.
Mm.
Paris
Mhm.
is a transformed place.
Mm.
Other places are no longer there. It's not like a sad thing. It's just no longer needed.
Where is that?
No, I don't see anything anymore on the coast of California, and I don't see anything on the coast of Canada on the west.
Yeah.
I don't see anything in parts of South America down really low, like the tip of South America. It's so the cities I see, like Peru,
Mm-hmm.
it's still Cusco, and bright and full of light.
Mm-hmm.
Paris is there. I'm surprised, but New York City is there, and
Mm.
Montreal is there.
Wonderful.
Toronto's not there. I don't know why. I
Mm.
don't see it there. What used to be Toronto anyway. And oh, the U.S. A lot of cities are in the middle of the U.S. now.
Mm-hmm.
Like little towns are now bigger. Montana,
Mm-hmm.
it's got a lot of places. Kansas has got a lot.
Mm.
Alabama has a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, lots of Alabama. I don't see Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We seem to be missing Florida now. I don't see it there anymore.
Yeah.
I don't even see Florida, let alone a city.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Alaska's there. I'm fine. Lots of Alaska still happening. I don't feel like we're worried about communication. That's the thing. Like, I'm wondering, how does everybody communicate with each other? And I don't see hydro systems anymore.
Yeah. We can soon discover about how we develop our communication. Good. What do you see about Africa?
Mm. South Africa, it doesn't look like it's there the same as it used to. Some of it is, but not like Cape Town. You
Mm-hmm.
can't see Cape Town. I do see the middle of Africa, and I also see
Mm-hmm.
Canadian, middle of Canada. I just topped over to the other side again. My whole body went to Canada. All of the middle of Canada, like all the prairies are fine.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Africa, one side of Africa is okay, and that is the Atlantic. side of Africa, or like whatever, the side that faces South America. It's the Pacific, it's the other side of Africa. So face Africa on a map. It's the right side of Africa. Oh, I can't think of directions right now, but that would be the East Africa.
Okay.
Lots of East Africa seems to have not kind of doesn't seem to be really there anymore.
Yeah.
It's like East Africa and Western Canada and Western.
And if you travel up to the area of the Middle East, what do you see there?
It looks fine to me. Everything looks the same. Mediterranean looks the same. Egypt looks like it's normal. The Nile looks like it's bigger. The river looks bigger. There's more water, but it's still there. It doesn't look different to me. Nor does Scotland and England look any different.
Wonderful.
It's the same as it always did. Same with Scandinavia. Something's wrong with some parts of Europe. What's going on? Spain and Portugal don't look the same. Parts of Spain and Portugal, but not the coast.
Flying east. What do you see as the cities like? What type of like structure do you see from above, and what do you notice that is different in the communities?
I don't think we built the cities. I just think they look like they were built for us or something. They don't look right. I don't see like the normal things of like wood and bricks. It looks like domes, or just a dome isn't really the right word, because you can see the sky, so it's not closed off from the sky. But it feels like there's structures that have been created that aren't created by us people, human people. There's a lot of agriculture happening. Like every city is really about the big gardens. There's so many gardens. It's like there's a garden every place you look. It's really all about the gardens. There are buildings, but nothing is separate from the world. It's like even it's a lot of open concept, open air, open. I'm wondering about that. I'm wondering about the climate, how that works. But it feels like microclimate too. It feels like each city has its own microclimate, as if it's sustainable somehow in its almost magical way.
Wonderful.
So like it reminds me a little of what I imagined ancient Greece looked like. I imagined Hellenic Greece would look like. Lots of columns and lots of beautiful buildings that are connected to the outdoors. Yeah, sort of like that, a little bit like that. I don't feel like we built them, though. That's what's interesting. I feel like we're just able to use them.
Wonderful. Would you like to share with me if you fly above Asia? How does it look over there? Maybe the area of.
There's different lands now that didn't used to be there. That's interesting. Well, I've been to Bali and I know what it looks like, and also I've been through Malaysia, but not staying there. But Malaysia and Bali are different. They're bigger, like as if this is the weirdest thing. That there's more land now that was covered with water that's now open, and it's recovered space. Like Bali land is just rediscovered. Now, instead of being a small island, it's quite large. Same with Malaysia. In fact, you can almost connect Malaysia and Bali together. So that's interesting. They're almost like Sicily is connected to the tip of Italy. They're all connected again. That's interesting. They must have been connected at some other time. So there's no more breaking down of islands. A lot of them are all connected.
Mm.
Yeah, all the islands, like what's it called? The islands south of Bali are now part of the same land as Bali.
Mm.
So there's more land that didn't used to be there.
Mm-hmm. What about Australia? New Zealand?
Mm-hmm. Some of Australia on the coast is different.
Mm-hmm.
It's different on one side, not the other. Different on the left side, or
Mm-hmm.
the other side is different. So I got that wrong. If I was looking at Australia on a map and I was looking at the western side of Australia,
Mm-hmm.
eastern side, I'm so dyslexic. Yeah, anyway, one side of Australia is way, way less than it used to be. So Australia is smaller than it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Same
Yeah.
with New Zealand. They're still there, but they're just not as big because one
Okay.
side of them is smaller. Just
Mm-hmm.
like one side of Africa is smaller.
Interesting.
You realize it's weirding me out. But it's okay that way, but it's just different. It's almost like
Yeah.
somebody sloshed the planet and water moved everywhere. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I almost feel like someone took the planet and went slush,
Hmm.
and the water just changed position.
Right. Yeah.
Again, I don't feel any panic about this.
Yeah.
Emotionally feels quite okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Wonderful. This is how it's supposed to be.
hmm
So if we fly down to Antarctica, that's an interesting land. What's happening there?
Well, it's no longer full of snow and ice.
Mm-hmm.
It's got more mountains than I would have known. It's very mountainy.
Mm.
It's
Is there life there? Are there cities there?
yeah. Well, there's old cities that I'm looking at, but ruins of cities and mountains and all of that. But for some reason, it's not allowed. I don't understand why.
Mm.
It's like we're not allowed to go and rebuild there.
Mm.
hmm
Interesting.
It's not that it's a bad place or anything. I don't
Yeah.
understand. It's something to do with the energies of the place. Like, I mean, there's no space ready for us there. So maybe in the future.
Okay.
hmm
I see. Okay. Wonderful. What about Hawaii? The islands of Hawaii?
Yeah. Mm. I don't see them there anymore.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
I like Hawaii. I
Yeah.
don't see Hawaii. I just see ocean.
Yeah. Okay. And I would like for you now to float up just to like, do you know where is Mount Shasta?
hmm
Let's see what's happening around that area if it still exists.
Well, Mount Shasta is not a mountain; it's an island.
It's an island now?
hmm
Yeah. Hmm. Very good. Very nice. Thank you so much. What a fun trip on Terra we just had.
hmm
How wonderful. Thank you so much for that.
It's fun.
Let's take another deep breath and connect with the council again. And I would like also the higher self, all the consciousness and personalities of Lori to once again return into her body. So I may speak with her subconscious and her higher self, please. May I speak with the subconscious, please?
Okay, speaking.
Thank you so much. I would love to ask you first, what would you like to focus on first from all the questions that she prepared?
relationship with a partner.
Yes. Let's start with that. What's going on? What can you share?
She's missing her partner.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She
She's
wanted.
missing him very much.
Yeah. Where is he?
He's waiting.
Mm. Are you ready for her?
He's waiting for her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How can she prepare for him?
She's getting ready to move, and when she moves, she will meet him.
Move to where?
To Canada's eastern coast.
I see.
Montreal.
Okay. When will be a good timing for her to do this move?
In the spring or summer of the
This.
year coming up.
So very soon.
Well, yeah, by the summer of 2019.
19. So like in a year from now, the latest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So not the coming up summer of 2018.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
She's not ready.
If she's not ready. Okay. And then she will find her partner there.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. Can you, so this is her twin flame?
I
What
wouldn't.
type of relationship is that?
The word is not the right word.
Okay, what is the right way to describe their type of relationship?
He's from her home. He's one of
Oh,
her partners from her home.
well,
It's one of her people.
yeah. What they're here to do together?
Save the world.
Yeah. In what way?
Tell the truth.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Tell the truth. Tell people what's really happening. Help people wake up.
Mm-hmm. She want to collaborate with him. What are the way of the collaboration that she can expect?
He's already on the same path. So when she meets him, they will just find what is the most exciting and creative thing they want to focus on. He's kind of a he's a variation of her, you know.
Yeah.
But he's not her. So I think that they're going to have fun discovering what it is they want to do together. I don't think that it's any one thing.
Yeah.
It's like whatever they choose to do together,
Yeah.
it's going to be great for them.
Yeah. I know each one of us, come with talents and some things that we're strong and we developed during this life. What are the things that she developed and she's her strong talents and abilities that she can bring into the relationship? And what do you think his things that it will be more strong at?
Yeah, well, she brings her deep knowing of the truth of who she is beyond the finite identity, and he brings that knowing as well, which is very rare. She has more clairvoyance than he does, and she brings that to the union. But he has strong clairsentience.
Wonderful.
He's very gifted with his finances. He's really learned money, the game of money. She's good at it too, but he's really, really good at it.
Oh, wonderful.
They're good together for creating enough surplus of abundance that they can use it for the projects that matter to them.
That's wonderful.
He's healed himself more than once He's a natural healer. He may call himself a healer.
Wonderful. Okay. And can you share with me a little bit about money and how that's evolving and changing in the from the earth that we live into Terra, and what's the process of that?
Oh, well, money's important, and then it no longer exists. So it's important until it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
For the souls of the path of awakening and messaging and ascending, one of the greatest lessons is that money matters. There's a fear of money. Many people fear money.
Mm-hmm.
That old program is going to unwind as people move into 4D. I guess you call it 4D.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time the full-on shift has happened, then money is irrelevant anyway. Money is a transitional thing.
I see.
But it's important. It's important for freedom of choice and power to accomplish things. Well, money still isn't, what is the word? Money is still being used.
Right. Yeah. Some people think about different changes of collapse of the economy or really changing of currencies that will be happening during those transitions. Are you able to share with me about some of those processes?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
There is no such thing as a one world currency. That doesn't happen. I don't know why people see that, but anyway. There's intermittent and scattered cases of currencies collapsing around economic distress in various countries, and that has always been the case, so that continues.
Okay.
There's not such a thing as a global economic collapse, but there is a Western economic collapse. By that I mean Europe and United States and Canada, well, first world, maybe you call it first world economy. That is already begun. However, it's not like the hardship of, let's say, the 1929 Great Depression. That's an example of an economic collapse. It doesn't have the same sort of impact because what happens is different. Uprising happens in a different way. Instead of coping with the strategy of the old world collapsing and trying to make the best of it, there are people who move into power who change the system to make it work. So it's hard to explain this because I don't think it happens all at once, and I also don't feel it happens for everyone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hang on a sec, I'm hearing something.
Thank you.
There's a safety net as one world shifts into the new world that will be available for many people, and individually they will not suffer through economic hardship.
Okay.
As in, there's a time where people will find themselves in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. I see. I understand.
Nobody's going to starve.
Yeah. Wonderful. Can you share with her what is important for her monetary, for her, work, and how to be sustainable also in the future? She wanted to learn about the income source for her.
It's because she has a fear of money running out. That's not her fear. That's from her family. It comes up her family line from her father's side. That is not her issue. She's always had money when she needs it. She will always have money when she needs it. And one part of her knows that. As for how to create money,
What would be a fun way, creative way for her that can align with her life, passion, goals, and purpose?
she needs to finish the book she's writing, the fiction book. It's important.
Yeah.
It will be a successful book, and it will be financially successful.
Can you guide her? She has some questions about that.
Yes. Well, the book is stuck. She knows she has stopped writing it.
Yeah, what's going on?
She hasn't identified a character that's missing in the story, and she needs to create that character before she can write any further. And she knows there's a missing character. It's time to write the male character into the storyline.
Now, when you have this infinite creative source there, can you give her some ideas that will put her back into her passion to bring
Mm-hmm.
forward that?
Delete chapter 3 and start over, and start it from the perspective of the male character that needs to be in the story. Then the rest will flow from there.
Okay, would that be enough to?
Yes.
Okay.
The story is just stuck because she forgot to write a character into it.
Can you tell her more about that?
Yeah, it's the main character. It's the love interest. It's the it's the it's the guy that the girl falls in love with in the story.
I see. What would be a good way for her to tap into that story again to, like, bring it forward easily, flow of
Mm-hmm.
writing? What's a good practice for her?
Mm-hmm. Well, pay attention to her dreams. So they have lots of information and inspiration about the book, and then also go to the coffee shop that she really likes and work there. Working at home is too hard. The coffee shop is a good place to be.
Very nice.
Figaro.
Very nice. Any suggestion for publishing company or how to put it out in a way that will give her the income she is desiring?
Well, the book doesn't need to be going to 100 agents. You'll find the right person really quickly. It will have an agent though before it has a publisher.
Okay.
It will be a word of mouth. Just trust it. In about 8 months, 6 months, you'll have the book finished, and the word of mouth process will lead you to the agent. The agent is connected to New York City.
Okay. Thank you so much. Wonderful information that you bring forward for her. She also wanted to know about the online courses.
Yeah, write the course that you want to do in the fall. It's going to be fun. It is
The
important.
soul
Soul Unleashed, yeah.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's actually the closest to where you really are in your own life, and you will have more fun doing it than anything you've done so far. But don't worry about the money part. Yes, you can make money for doing it, but your money is not the reason for it. You're doing it because it's your own growth edge and it's fun.
Wonderful.
And the students that you attract are amazing people.
Fun. That's exciting news. Thank you.
Mm.
Can you share about her health?
Oh, she's got to stop taking on all of the weight of the world.
Where does it stored in her
shoulder.
body? In her shoulder, okay.
Shoulders are always like that. The hip thing is new, but it's the same energy.
Would you start the body scan? And you can start the healing. I'm going to take a little moment to go to the restroom and come back and let me know what you've been doing there.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Mm.
Thank you. I'm back.
Mm.
So, what were you busy with in their healing process?
Oh, it's just that, the body itself is fine. It's just the energy of the hip is stuck around the tailbone. Energy is stuck.
Yeah. What caused that?
Two things. The Kundalini energy has been moving a lot, and also the balance is off on her feminine side. It's taking up too much of the space. The masculine is trying to find its place here. Wow, I just had a jolt of energy.
Yeah.
There's something about this idea in her hip that she has to carry all this weight on her feminine leg, and that's not gonna work because it's draining her freaking energy. And the hip is like, you can't go forward at all until you stop.
Let's take another deep breath into it. Release completely and allow. Let's take another deep breath into it. And going into a deep, deep relaxation of this area and the mind. May I speak with the subconscious, please?
Yes.
Thank you. So, what can you do now in order to balance the masculine energy in that area? Is there anything would you like to teach her or show her?
Exercising the way you've been doing helps. Writing the male character in the book will help.
Interesting. So she will develop this masculine energy within the book and within her body?
Yes.
Wonderful. Tell me more about that. What part of the masculine energy there need to be developed? What aspect of that?
Well, the noble and the caring and the responsible in a good way, healthy masculine. There's a feeling of developing this willingness to lean on this energy, to trust it, to be safe with it, because it's noble and it's caring and it's responsible. The character in the book, these qualities are there already in this character she will write.
Very good.
It's not her fault. It's just life. It's life. She's just carrying some life weight stories.
Yeah.
Family history.
I see. What type of thought forms and beliefs we can release and reprogram?
That she has to do it by herself.
Mm-hmm.
She has to do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
That she can't trust a guy to be a partner.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That men are weak and irresponsible, that they can't be trusted. That is what has to be healed here. But she can heal that on her own. Doesn't need a man to do that.
Right. Can she do it right now?
Sort of. She can start.
Okay.
There's work to be done with the character in the book that
will help her.
That will really create lasting, solid transformation for the wrong beliefs about the masculine.
Yeah. Wonderful. So maybe we can just take a moment and just send love and forgiveness for the people in her life and her family life that were creating that traumas, that create the lack of trust. Let's send them a lot of love for their life path, their soul growth, and forgiveness. And I want you to fill up your body with a lot of self-love and forgiveness also for yourself. Fill it up to all the parts of your body and soul, physical body, all the moleculars and cells, emotional body, mental body, spiritual body, past, present, and future. Fill it up with beautiful energy and clearing the negative programming and putting in affirmations and a new awareness and beliefs. And tell me when you feel complete with that.
That's really good. Complete.
Wonderful. What do you feel will be changed from that?
Oh, the habits of her body. The habits of walking on one leg and not the other, and the habits of carrying all the weight in those shoulders all the time.
Very good. Yeah, let's drop that bag. Very good. Very good. Any exercise that you need to know about or practices?
She should be swimming. Go back to swimming.
Okay, very good. Anything else?
Walking in the woods and swimming.
Okay. How's her meditation practice?
It's good. She knows when she needs to be quiet and still.
Yeah. Is there anything else she can do in order to tap in to your guidance, like you do right now? Guide her so clearly and beautifully, so she will continue to bring forward this energy and anchor the newness.
Maybe tell her. Yeah, I'll tell her to try the Muse headphones that she didn't use yet. She'll find it even a deeper meditation than usual.
Very nice. Is there any way for her to start journeys that will lead her into more connection?
What kind?
For example, maybe there's like maybe she can go to the beautiful place to meet a guide, and then the guide will take her to more journeys and give her more information that she needs to bring forward, or something like that. Is there?
She's doing that in her dreams, but that's possible at any point, yes.
Okay, so the beautiful place can be a power place for her to go into journeys. And what guide will come to pick her up?
Gala.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. Okay, now let's continue asking, what's the next thing you find that important for her for today?
The rainbow and the diamond, she's definitely wants more information.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the diamond.
The diamond.
In her dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The diamond is a path that everybody is on. It's the way that the earth is formed. So it's not optional. Everyone is moving into the diamond path energy.
Mm-hmm.
The dream is simply telling her that that is her focus point, and that she's not here only to investigate it for herself, but to share it as much as she can with the world. There's nobody who comes to the final version of Earth or New Earth. It's not possible to be there without entering into the diamond path energy.
Mm.
The diamond isn't a metaphor as much as it's a precise and mathematical truth.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? This mathematical
Well,
truth?
the diamond is a prismatic stone,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a mathematical formula. I can't tell her what the formula is, but it has math involved.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way, it's like a geometrical, sacred geometrical truth. But the diamond in her dream is to start her focusing on investigating what the diamond means for her.
Mm.
The diamond brooch she was given.
Wonderful. What do you suggest for her to do now with this information about the diamond?
To meditate on it, to journey with it, to dream about it, to write about it from a channeled place.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing with the diamond that she can do for others. Every person must engage this truth themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But the deeper she engages it for herself and understands it and moves into that truth of
Mm-hmm.
the diamond, the more she will be able to influence people towards that same path. Influence them, but not do it for them. It's impossible.
Mm.
You can provide somebody a formula, but it doesn't work that simply. Step A, B, C.
Yeah.
The diamond is not that simple. It's more of a it's more of a transformation, separation from self to embrace the truth of the vast true self. It's an enlightenment energy, I guess is the best word.
Yeah.
And that's where grace comes in. So the diamond is connected to the soul's ability to receive grace.
Mm.
The diamond is also about healing. So, and the diamond is Neo in the Matrix, bending all the rules. It's the miracles.
Mm. Wonderful. Beautiful. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Can you share with me? Okay, actually, I'm asking you what's the next thing that's important for her. I have more questions, but of course, I want to go by importance.
Anything is okay. That was the most important. The rest is just icing.
Okay, fun. So now we can get curious and just ask a bunch of questions.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. She wanted to know who's Sam.
Sam is an aspect of diamond. The diamond has many facets. It's a very pure aspect of the diamond, of truth, of the one being is here. The understanding that people have of Sam is limited by the mind. In a way, Sam is each of us and all of us.
Interesting. Wonderful. How that would help her with that information?
More to help other people with that information, that Sam is this aspect of the diamond as a part of self, as well as all self. So that the context of Sam is better understood. So for those of those people who don't understand it and are wanting to have clarity about it as a process and a phenomena, for other people it doesn't matter, but for some people it will.
Okay. Very good. I actually want to take a moment to check just on her body and her, if there's more healing available for her or upgrades.
Oh, upgrades sound good.
Is there any upgrades to her blueprint, templates, energy, DNA that she's ready for now?
It's not so much about the DNA at this point. Her DNA has been changing very quickly. It's about the energy centers in the body, and there's congestion in her pineal gland, and that has to be cleared.
Okay, can you help me do that right now?
Yes.
Thank you. What are you using?
I'm using diamond light.
Wonderful. Tell me when it's all done. Or share with me more about the process of doing that.
It's extremely bright. It's so bright. It's like being in a very, very bright space.
Yeah.
Super bright, but not harsh, just bright.
Yeah.
It's flooding into her eyes, in her third eye.
Wonderful.
Feels like the lights are all on in here.
So good. Thank you.
It's okay now. It's cleared out. This was not her fault, this congestion either. She takes on a lot of stuff that doesn't belong to her. Now we've taken it away. The diamond light, it doesn't patch things up. It changes them forever.
Wonderful. I'd love you to take a moment and scan your body, see if there's any attachment or any cords.
There's only one cord left.
Who is connected to and what type of energy is running through it?
It's connected to her solar plexus, and it's connected as well to her sacral area. It's coming down from the solar plexus through the sacrum down the right leg and out the bottom of her foot, but it's not, it's corded energy.
Okay. So it's something that you want to, how do you want to heal that? Tell me.
Her leg is now throbbing in pain on her front of her leg, all the way down to her knee and ankle. So it's resisting being noticed.
Okay. What are you using to unwind that?
The diamond light.
Wonderful.
It's starting on the solar plexus and it's flooding downward.
Very cool. And what created?
Oh, the pain has just disappeared instantly.
Oh, wow. What caused this type of cord?
Contracts, soul contract.
With who? Or with what? Let's go to the time when that been created.
It's not from this timeline.
When it's been agreed on to carry it to this life. And what was the lesson behind it?
It was created in France in the turn of the 17th, 18th century. 18th century, 1780.
What she was living then?
She was living in Paris. She was a clergy. She was a bishop or a priest. She created an identity around being a religious leader and power, lots of power.
So what was carried into this life?
Oh, she's created a deal that she had signed a vow with a non-physical entity. That's not a human either. That was an occult passage of agreements with an entity.
Okay, so now we release this entity.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Can you share with me more about the type of this entity and how it was serving her?
Well, we call it a demonic entity, I guess. But that's the wrong word, really. But he would have called it that.
Yeah.
Parasitic entity.
Parasitic.
There was a very good contract at the time. It was understood as a way to leverage power and have abilities. Abilities that were impressive. So, give me some power.
Yeah.
But the problem is that life didn't end well anyway. So, bad ending. Bad ending.
How did it end?
Guillotine.
Let's see. Okay. Very good.
But the entity agreed to help, and so that contract was never broken.
I see. Good. So now it's broken, how it will affect her?
More freedom from a feeling of guilt.
Good. Can you do another scan to see if there's any other attachment? Any other cords? Nothing hiding there? Even outside of her body? Any entities? Make sure it's all.
No, I can't see anything.
It's all clear. Wonderful. Okay. So, can you please make sure her aura is sealed and beautiful and aligned as it should be? Chakras are working as they should.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, there's such great energy flooding through the solar plexus right now. It feels like when you go, I don't know, describe it. It's like a spring of water, spring, brook, like a crystal clear, fresh spring water.
Wonderful.
Flowing and flooding through the solar plexus.
Beautiful cleansing energy washing through. Wonderful. Very good.
It's just so strong. It's amazing.
Enjoy every moment of it. Yeah. You wanted to know about the rainbow aura. Can you tell her more about what does that mean?
That's the diamond energy.
Okay.
It's not any different. It's the same.
Okay.
The auras of all humanity who are changing, transforming, which is not everybody.
Yeah.
It's those who are ready and who are ready to go, to come with the new earth.
Yeah.
It's the diamond energy is also the rainbow aura. It's the same.
Yeah. So what does Lori need to know about the waves and the timing of all the concept of the 3D, 4D, 5D? She had this question.
That's a very simple version, but that works. Just think of it as 3, 4, and 5D. It's a little more complicated and a lot more subtle. It's more like a piano where you can go all the way up and down the different octaves. And so humanity has had a range, just like a singer that's range bound. And now the range of humanity is changing. It's going up, obviously. But 5D is it sounds so simple, but it's not like that. It's like within 4D there are 10 dimensions of potential, and within 5D there are 10 dimensions of potential, and within 6D, so it's very gradiated and nuanced, just like the piano. It's like you go from middle C all the way up to the top of the piano, and there's a lot of in-betweens up the way.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about the Earth that's more interesting is that the Earth doesn't do this. The Earth is all or nothing. That's what we're trying to say here. The Earth is like the Earth as you know her, and then she's completely changed in 1 minute. That's the wave.
Wow.
In 1 second. In less than a second.
Wow. Beautiful.
And humanity is different. Humanity has always been capable of this range, right? Just has been range bound before now.
Yeah.
The DNA is changing.
I see.
Well, the DNA isn't really changing. The DNA is still the DNA. The DNA is like a musical instrument, and the waves of energy coming at it are what make it do its thing. And now there's different energy waves waking up the DNA and making it play different music. So it's the same DNA, it's the same structure. That's not changing. It's the way the DNA operates is changing. The operating system changing.
Okay. Wonderful.
Same DNA, different function.
Okay. Thank you for all this information. Take another deep breath. Relaxing completely. I want to ask how she's doing with her energy and her body. Now we can reach some friends' questions, and I can ask if there's any more information or something that she wanted to know or can ask that I didn't ask, then she should ask.
No, the body is amazing.
You're doing great.
Yeah, everything's full of energy, but in a very subtle and happy way. Vibrating.
So we can continue with some more questions. We have some more time. Thank you so much. Okay. So is there any questions that she could ask that she didn't ask and she should? Maybe about the kids?
No, the question that came to mind was about the dog.
The dog. Oh, that's true. And actually, I think it's my... I wrote it. Yeah.
The dog has had a splenic tumor, and the question she wants to ask is, why is the dog ill now?
Tell her more, please. Can you take a check and maybe send some healing?
The dog is both a shaman and a psychopomp, so the dog has taken energy that was hard for Fergus, the other owner of the dog, to deal with, and took it on as a tumor instead of Fergus being ill. So it took the energy away from one beloved pack member. Instead took the energy for herself to heal it.
Wonderful. I heard many times the dog's doing this wonderful sacred work.
Yeah,
Their
she's
own.
not staying though. She's leaving again
Okay.
sometime in December or so.
Okay.
It's time to go. She's got other work to do. She wants to help on the other side.
Fabulous. Thank you. So it's good preparation for her to know and to get ready to say their goodbyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you. What about the kids? Is there anything for them? Sounds like her son is doing great. Her daughter is getting out of her teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything for them?
Not for them.
Okay,
They're on their path.
good.
She needs to live and let live.
Okay,
She needs to let them live their lives in a way that doesn't interfere. Their path is really strong. Both the children
yeah,
are very old souls. They're on their path. Just stand back, let them learn their lessons. Don't interfere.
okay,
Unless they ask for help, let them do their thing. They're okay. They're actually okay. Both kids are fine.
fabulous. That's
They're
good.
both they're both ascending to the new earth.
Oh, that's nice. Good to know.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful. Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to tell her? And I'll start asking other questions, a bit more particular for her.
No, she's got enough answers. She's good.
Okay, very good. So now I want to invite my council as well to commune with your council
Mm.
and my higher self with your higher self. Invite them to have a little party up there and to continue answer us more general questions. Would it be appropriate to ask also personal questions for me?
Yes, sure.
Wonderful. Is my higher self is accessible for you?
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Is there any message for you that you would like to share with me first? A message before I get.
Are you wanting a message for yourself?
Yeah, yeah. If my higher self want to share a message